Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with me. It's Miss Carter. This is where we have all the conversations and possibly get answers to most of the pressing issues that most of us are going through. So thank you for joining me. If you're new, kindly subscribe, hit the notification button and share this video. Yes, so on today we're going to be discussing about relationships, marriages. Everything we're going to talk about resonates with both marriages and relationships. And hopefully you can get something, you can learn something new. Yes. So someone asked me what it is to be intentional to your partner. And I believe, just as the word says, being intentional is actually doing something on purpose, free. You see, this is not something that's been subjected to you. This is something that you're doing from a free will. So when you're being intentional to your partner, it means you're loving them intentionally, on purpose. You see, you are aware of their needs and you're actually doing something to meet those needs. You see, marriages and relationships involve two different people with different backgrounds, with different upbringings, you see, different thoughts. Yes, and at the end of the day, you have to meet each other somewhere. You see, so this person has a different need as opposed to yours. What do? You find a way to just listen to their needs and actually meet them to your best of your ability. When you wake up in the morning, you're preparing your coffee. Your partner prefers black coffee, you prefer white coffee. Making white coffee for yourself and making black coffee for your partner, you're being intentional. Yes? When you go out there, you see something beautiful, you're like, she would really like this or he would really love this. You get it for them. You are being intentional. That is one of the most important things in a relationship. And before you can actually be intentional to your partner, you're supposed to be able to be intentional to yourself. Yeah, these are the things that I love doing. These are some of the things that bring me joy. What am I doing about these things? Am I learning that new skill that I've always wanted to? Am I taking myself out? Am I getting myself something new, this Christmas? Or, when you're being intentional to yourself, it is easy for you to reciprocate the same thing to the other person. Because at the end of the day, inflow determines outflow. So on that question, I believe I've answered it. And on the second thing, it's about love languages. Everyone has a different love language. We have 5 love languages. We have words of affirmation. We have physical touch, quality time. We have gifts. Yes, and we have the acts of service. So everyone, you can find that probably all of them, they're your love languages, but they're in a different order. So what you're supposed to do is ask your partner or get to find out, what is the love language? How do they love expressing love? You see, and you're supposed to love them through that. Let's say, for instance, I prefer words of affirmation, but you don't. You prefer acts of service. So I am supposed to provide service to you because that is the best way in which you speak. You show your love. And as for me, because I love words of affirmation, you're supposed to position yourself in a place where you can actually give me that. You see, you can love me through that love language. It is very important. You can be doing the right things, everything nice according to you. But when it comes to your partner, when you ask them, is this everything that you want? They'll be like, Because at the end of the day, there's what is important to your partner. You see? And you're supposed to identify those things and actually love them through them. You see, it speaks better when you do that than when you just, do what feels right by you. I love buying people roses, so I'll just buy for her roses. Maybe she doesn't like gifts. There are people who actually don't like gifts. You see, so understand your partner, get to know the love languages, and love them through those love languages. It is very, very important. Let's talk about privacy. Privacy could be phone privacy, or just the simple term of the word privacy. Yeah, but today let's just talk about the phone privacy. The question was, is it okay to have your partner's passcodes or fingerprints and all that? When you're in a relationship, it might not be that necessary to get the passcodes and to have your fingerprint in there. But once you decide you're married to this person, there's some things that just have to be left there open. You see? So when you're in a relationship, you don't necessarily have to share them, but your phone should be, accessible to your partner. If your partner feels like they want to go through your phone, if they feel like there's something in your phone that they would like to go check, your phone should be accessible to them. You want to look at it? Here, go. Have at it. You see, you're supposed to give them that freedom. It doesn't mean that they're intruding your privacy. It just means that they need clarity. You see? And most of the time, people don't just wake up in the morning and they're like, I want to check your phone. No, it comes from somewhere. Probably something they've been thinking about, something they saw somewhere, or just normal thoughts. We have insecurities and things that just build up. So it's not coming from nowhere. It is coming from somewhere. And the moment you become so defensive and you're not and you're not making these things accessible to them, that actually becomes like a red flag. Why is he or she saying no? What is it that this person is hiding? You see, what is it that I don't know? What it is that I need to know? You get what I'm saying? So you don't have to share these credentials, but make it accessible to them at any given time. You see, and at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship with someone, it means you have sat down with yourself and agreed it would be better for you to do with someone. Not just yourself, for you to do with someone. So when you get to a place where you're inviting someone else into your space, someone else into your life, you're supposed to be, considerate enough to actually do the right things by them. You see, there's a difference between being single and being in a relationship or being married. You're not reporting to someone, you're just being accountable to someone. You can't just switch off your phone for the whole day or 2 days, just like that, without giving an explanation or without giving a heads up. I'll be off the whole of this weekend. You have to give them a heads up. It's not because you're supposed to report to them, but it's because you're accountable. This person loves me. This person will be worried. This person will, they might even panic. You see? So since I am accountable to you, since you're in my life, it is best if I tell you this is what I'm about to do. This is what I'll be doing. So if you call me at this time, you don't find me. This is the reason. So accountability is very, very important. The moment you settle with someone in your journey, you're supposed to do right by them, and they should also do right by you. It is very, very important. So yes, once you remove the mentality of, am I reporting? Once you remove that mentality, things actually, flow smoothly. Okay? Yes, and another thing, goals. 2 people cannot work together unless they agree. So from the onset, from when the relationship is still young, from when you're friends, when you want to cross over to that new line, what do you like? What are your long-term goals? What are your short-term goals? These are mine. Can we really work together? Or you want to go to Mombasa and me, I want to go to Tanzania? Or what do we do first? You see, you have to get to a place of agreement. If this is a journey you want to take and this is mine, if they're not meeting at any point, then that means you 2 cannot work together because you have different paths, different goals. You see, 2 cannot work together unless they agree. They usually say, when in a relationship with someone and you share common interest, the relationship is fun. Because if I love traveling and you love traveling, we'll be traveling together. You see, if you love going out, I love going out, we'll be going out together. Now imagine I love traveling instead. You love staying in the house. What do? I'll be traveling alone. So that now begs the point of meeting each other halfway. I'm not really a fan of this, but this is something that I can bend a little. I just do it your way. Then it should get to a point where you will have to do the same for me. You see? But to avoid all these things, it's good to work with someone to whom you have a common goal. Probably not the same goal, but a similar goal. It doesn't have to be the same thing. Probably they want a very simple example. Maybe they want a BMW X6, and maybe you want a BMW X1. At the end of the day, it's a BMW. You can choose to go with his choice or your choice. But I imagine you want a BMW, they want a Toyota. What do you do? Do we decide this time, let's just settle for this? Or do you get yours and I get mine? You see, it's just good to have a clear and common goal that will help you and save you in a lot of stuff. Because even there are some things that your partner will not be able to understand what it is that you enjoy when you go out. What fun is that? People are just dancing and singing with a lot of noise. What is it that you like that? They won't understand because that is not something they resonate with. That's not something they actually enjoy doing. So when it's a clear goal, you will evade some of these conversations or positions. But if it is not necessarily in that direction, at least be able to meet each other halfway in whatever it is. And before we end this, I'd like to ask you a question. When you're in a relationship or when you're married, you're friends. Are you supposed to be friends with your partner's friends, or are you supposed to have your own friends? Should everyone have their own friends? And should these friends fit in your same status? Like, I am married. Should all my friends be married, or I can have single friends? Yeah. What really happens? Are you supposed to What really happens? Engagement. You tell me, give me your thoughts. Yes, and we're going to, talk about them in the next video. And now the one last important thing is arguments and fights. These are things that can break a relationship or a marriage, or they can build them. At the end of the day, remember that when you're having an argument or a fight with your partner, it's not about winning. It is about actually getting to a place of comfortability for the both of you, a place where the both of you can share your views freely, a place where you can speak your thoughts, because at the end of the day, you have to be friends with your partner. But if you put them in a place where they feel like every time they bring up something, it is a fight, it's about you not listening to me, it's about death. You see? So if you're friends, you just sit down with your partner. This is how I feel. You did this. It made me feel like this. What do we do? How do we move forward from this? Yeah. So when it comes to arguments and fights, it's not about winning. It's about just settling whatever it is that you guys are going through and actually getting to your normal patterns. You see, because at the end of the day, these fights can bring about so many things that are not good. Like, for instance, you can, leave your partner in a place of uncertainty. You can leave them in a place of doubt. You see, you can leave them in a place of emotional damage and pain. And that is not what you want to do to your partner. So at the end of the day, fights and arguments should be treated with a lot of weight. Let's sit down, let's discuss this. If we are angry at that point, we can wait up until we feel calmer so that we can have an amicable conversation and actually talk about these things. And at the end of the day, be a person that is willing to listen. Yeah, don't just be the person who wants their views to be listened to or heard. Be a person who will just sit down and listen to what the partner is saying. Okay, I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. I'm really having trouble, but help me understand. Help me understand what it is that you're trying to communicate. You see, when you get to that point and your partner feels heard, your partner feels like they're significant, or whatever thoughts they have, they're important, it will help you when you're dealing with these things. You see, so it is very, very important to be your partner's friend. Put them in a position where you guys can be able to just talk freely with no judgment, with a lot of love. Correct each other with love. When you're out there, don't discuss your partner's issues. Don't talk about their flaws and their shortcomings. Don't correct them in public. When you guys are together, hey, babe, whatever you did the other day, whatever you said, kidogo, it doesn't really lie. You see, be your partner's friend. That is the most important thing. Because at the end of the day, there are people out there who will not be able to understand what they're going through or understand where they're coming from. But you are the person they have chosen to share that bit of their life with. So at least make sure that when they're with you, they're comfortable, they're at peace, they're at home. That is very, very important. So yes, thank you for joining me. If you have something that you would like us to talk about, leave it in the comment section. And also, let's keep the conversation going also on my socials. You can, follow me on Instagram at It's Carter, and TikTok, It's Carter, and Facebook. I am looking forward to having that connection with all of y'all. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.